Why do we remember the scent of rain on a summer afternoon, yet forget where we put our keys just 5 minutes ago? Why do some moments feel etched into our very being, while entire years blur into a vague haze? Our memories define us. They are the building blocks of our identity, the library of our personal history. But what if I told you that library isn't a perfect archive? What if memory isn't a flawless recording of the past, but a story our brain is constantly rewriting? To understand this, we need to look at the 3 fundamental stages of memory: encoding, storage, and retrieval. Think of it like this. First, encoding is when your brain takes an experience, the sights, sounds, and feelings of this moment, and translates it into a neural code, a language it can understand. Next is storage, where this code is stabilized and filed away for the future. Finally, there's retrieval, where your brain pulls that information back out. But here's the crucial part. Memory isn't like replaying a video. It's a reconstruction. Every time you remember something, you're not just watching a file. You're rebuilding the memory from scattered pieces. Your memory is less like a hard drive and more like a masterful storyteller, weaving a narrative from fragments of the past. So, where do these stories live? Deep within the architecture of your brain. Meet the hippocampus, the brain's master librarian. It's responsible for taking our fleeting short-term memories and deciding which ones are important enough to be cataloged into long-term storage. Right next door is the amygdala, the emotional amplifier. It tags memories with feelings, which is why your first kiss or a frightening accident feels so much more vivid than what you had for breakfast last Tuesday. Then there's the prefrontal cortex, the executive producer, which helps you retrieve and organize these memories into a coherent timeline, your life's story. It's important to know that memories aren't stored in a single spot. They are distributed across vast networks of neurons, like a city's lights spread across a landscape. There are short-term memories, which last for seconds, and working memory, which is what you're using right now to follow what I'm saying. And then there's long-term memory, the vast archive of your life. Every single one of those memories is a physical change in your brain. It's not just an idea, it's a tangible connection. This is thanks to something called synaptic plasticity. There's a famous saying in neuroscience, neurons that fire together, wire together. When you learn something new, specific neurons communicate with each other. If that activity is repeated, the connection or synapse between them gets stronger. This process is called long-term potentiation, or LTP. It's how a fleeting experience becomes a stable, lasting memory. Imagine each memory as a path through a dense forest. The first time you walk it, it's barely visible. But the more you travel that same path, the clearer and more defined it becomes, easier to access each time you return. But what about the paths that grow over? Why do we forget? It turns out, forgetting isn't a flaw in our design. It's a critical feature. One reason is simple decay. If you don't use a memory, the neural connections that form it weaken over time, like an old photograph fading in the sun. Another is interference, where new memories can overwrite or get mixed up with old ones. And sometimes, it's a retrieval failure. The memory is still there, stored away in your brain, but you've lost the key to unlock it. The right cue is missing. The brain can also actively suppress painful or traumatic memories as a defense mechanism. Ultimately, forgetting is useful. It clears out the clutter, filtering the noise of daily life so we can focus on what truly matters. It's your brain's way of tidying up. But here's where it gets truly strange. Sometimes the brain doesn't just forget, it invents. Because memory is a reconstructive process, every time you recall an event, you subtly alter it with new information, feelings, or suggestions. Groundbreaking research by psychologist Elizabeth Loftus showed just how easy it is to implant false memories. By simply changing a word in a question, like asking how fast cars were going when they smashed versus contacted, she could change a person's memory of an accident they witnessed. This is why eyewitness testimony can be so unreliable, and it's the same mechanism behind phenomena like the Mandela effect, where large groups of people misremember the same fact. Our memories feel true because they feel real, not necessarily because they are. Emotion is the superglue of memory. When you experience a strong emotion, your brain releases hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These chemicals act like a highlighter, flagging the moment as important, save this. This creates what we call flashbulb memories, incredibly vivid recollections of where you were during a major event like 9/11 or a moment of personal triumph or tragedy. People are often extremely confident in these memories, but studies show that even these emotionally charged recollections can become distorted over time. The details shift, even if the emotional core remains. The stronger the emotion, the stronger the memory, and potentially, the more warped it can become. Have you ever caught a whiff of a certain perfume and been instantly transported back to your grandmother's house? Or heard a song and felt like you were 16 again? There's a scientific reason for that. Our sense of smell has a direct superhighway to the brain's limbic system, the home of both emotion and memory. Unlike other senses that get processed first, smell gets an instant pass. That's why one scent can unlock a flood of memories from decades ago. Music works in a similar way, weaving itself into our memories through rhythm, melody, and emotion. Auditory patterns create and reinforce neural pathways, linking a song to a specific time, place, or feeling. Our memories don't just live in our minds, they live in our senses. So, with all this fragility and distortion, can we actually improve our memory? Absolutely. And the science is clear. First, use spaced repetition. Instead of cramming, review information at increasing intervals. This tells your brain that this information is important and strengthens the neural path. Second, prioritize sleep. Memory consolidation, the process of transferring memories to long-term storage, happens primarily during deep sleep and REM sleep. Third, connect what you're learning to emotion and meaning. We don't remember random facts. We remember stories. Turn information into a narrative. Fourth, use visualization. Creating a mental image engages more parts of your brain, making the memory stronger. And finally, minimize multitasking. Your brain can only encode information effectively when it's focused. The best way to remember something is to truly care about what you're learning. In the end, memory is so much more than a record of what happened. It is the artist that paints our identity, the architect of our inner world. We are stories written in neurons, constantly being revised with every new experience, every recollection, every heartbeat. Memory isn't just what we keep, it's what we become. To remember is, in a way, to live twice, and to forget is to make space for a new chapter, a new path in the forest, a new memory waiting to be made. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this journey into the mind fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to join us on our next exploration.